on tonight's Thumb Bandits.
Hello and welcome to Thumb Bandits. The show's so hot that if you stuck a handle on it, it'd be called a poker. Hey, Ian, what do we got for the folks on tonight's show?
Well, Alex, have a look at this lot.
On the TV channel this week, we review the game every Xbox fan would sell their knackers for, Jet Set Radio Future. We check out the world of erotic gaming and meet one of its superstars. We get the latest gaming secrets from the inventor of the Super FX chip, Jez San, and our reviewers put all the new super consoles to the test in the jury.
I've been violated.
Sheesh.
Yep, you better believe it.
Well, on with the show. Here's the news, and it appears Nintendo have it all sewn up. This incredible footage is of Kirby, the game being used to show off the GameCube and Game Boy Advance link-up capabilities. By plugging your GBA into the GameCube, you can use it as a controller. With the aid of a revolutionary motion pack, the GBA recognizes movement, which means you can actually control the characters by tilting your handheld. But even more impressive is that when your little guy falls off the monitor, he lands on the screen in your hands, and you can chuck him back onto your TV.
The bad news is that this game will never be released, ever. Thumb Bandits can announce that the first titles you'll be able to link up in this way are the new Sonic games, available after the UK GameCube launch on May the 3rd.
Last year, two companies, Aromajet and DigiSense, brought the odors of the World Wide Web directly to our noses with their bizarre Smell-O-Vision PC hardware. And we thought we'd heard it all.
But oh no, in May this year, for the princely sum of $269, American company Trisense are going to launch the Sense machine, which promises much, much more.
It's not quite the Orgasmatron, but it can provide taste, texture, and even weather conditions via your PC. Being able to rain on your friends is fantastic enough, but by hooking your PC up to a sort of inkjet printer contraption, wafer-like tortilla chips can be squirted with flavour. Practical uses are in the e-commerce, medical and educational world. But who cares about that? I see a myriad of practical jokes stretching out in front of me.
Next up, teeny pop goddess Britney makes the leap into games. This is the first look at her cyber-scanned image, featured in her new game, Britney's Dance Beat. It's a cross between Parappa the Rapper and Dancing Stage Euromix.
Players will be able to unlock exclusive concerts and backstage footage. And to keep the realism, just like her boyfriend Justin Timberlake, you won't be able to shag her.
And finally, grab your pocket protectors because the latest in executive relief has arrived to waste your time. Operation Mini Boggle, Connect 4, Etch-a-Sketch, and Mini Bop It have all been turned into pens, guaranteed to take away the daily pressures of life. They say size doesn't matter, but these are awfully small.
That was the news. Here's a review.
Street art, tagging, a scourge of modern society. Whatever you call it, however you consider it, when spray paint and wall collide, the result is graffiti. And hey, apparently, it's a crime. Taking that into account, it's rather silly for family-friendly Sega to make a graffiti sim. But doesn't it look nice? Yeah, man, it's Jet Set Radio Future for the Xbox. Set in Tokyo in the year 2024, it's you versus the straight and narrow and rival gangs who insist on peppering the walls of your turf with their unesthetic spray bump. You've got to reclaim your territory by covering everything in your tags, recruiting new playable members, rebuffing the advances of your arch-enemies, and avoiding capture and death at the hands of the crooked cops. A tall order, but one hell of a ride. Jet Set Radio Future comes with its own crime does not pay style warning, discouraging young Picassos from literally painting the town red. The most irritating thing about this message isn't its condescending nature, but the fact that you can't click through it. Ah, fuck 'em. The levels range from old favorites to the new and surreal. Much of it looks like a comic-inspired nightscape, teeming with street life only Jamie Theakston and Hugh Grant would know anything about. The biggest difference in Jet Set Radio Future from the original Dreamcast game is the method of spraying graffiti. Whereas in Jet Set Radio, everything stopped and you had to maneuver the little joystick in game-determined patterns, this time all you have to do is push one button. It did crash my Xbox, but that could just be because I was playing early code. Still, don't like that. But do like the extremely fast saving and loading times. Blink and you'll miss them. Absolutely lovely. However, a word of warning, don't save in the middle of an objective and then leave for the night. There is no recap, which means that when you go back the next day, you'll never get through. Like Jet Set Radio before it, this game breaks the mold. This series takes the industry by the can and shakes it up. Stunning graphics, intelligent and unique gameplay, excellent tunes, and objectives that are definitely worth a Saturday night in. Yes, I am a sad bastard. It shone in the Dreamcast, but was lost under a pile of nondescript games when it was launched on the PlayStation 2. Don't let that happen again. Jet Set Radio Future rolls onto the Xbox on the 29th of March.
Do you remember that thing called a PlayStation and a box called the N64? Well, it's the 21st century now, kids, and there's a whole new generation of super bastard consoles out there vying for that hallowed turf in front of your TV. But unless you're someone like, I don't know, Leslie Grantham, you won't be able to afford them all. So which one should you buy? Well, tonight our rugged review jury are putting them all to the test, with Shrek on the Xbox, Hurdy-Gurdy on the PS2,
I gotta find help.
and Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube.
Our jury this evening is Scott, the former arsonist turned games designer, Jackie, the games fan who still finds time to help children, and tonight's special guest reviewer is game shop worker Paul, the ladies' man.
First up, the big, the green. An underrated hero for the new millennium, Shrek appears to be the fairy tale world's only answer to injustices placed upon them by an uncaring, irrational world. So our hero makes his way through 36 missions, 4 new worlds, and a hell of a lot of onions. But did our jury give him the key to the city, or do they think that he stinks?
The first, when you run the game, it looks as though it's just like the screenshots. It looks great, but as soon as you move, that jerky animation, jerky camera, doesn't work for me. I think any self-respecting grown-up would hate this. You would love it, on the other hand.
It's pretty much a platform adventure, complete some dumbass missions, like putting Humpty Dumpty's eggs into a nest, and you've got to like fart on a dancing cow. He doesn't have many special powers. He doesn't swim or climb. He just kind of runs and jumps a bit.
I think it has captured the essence of the film, like, say, A Bug's Life has done, but at the end of the day, both games are run-of-the-mill platformers.
So there's nothing redeeming.
Well, you can beat up Bo Peep, which is nice.
Next, we glimpse at Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube. Having inherited a spooky old mansion, Mario's crazy brother Luigi sets about ridding it of ghosts and finding his lost sibling. This is a beautiful game with stunning lighting effects and great-looking ghosts. But is it the Mario-esque title we'd expected for Nintendo's UK launch lineup? And is it a release that will get the UK gamers excited about the GameCube?
This is next gen. It looks fantastic. It blows things like PS2 titles out of the water. It's perfect almost.
The sound is brilliant. It really, really adds to the atmosphere. You've got Luigi whistling, and it kind of adds to the tension, and he screams when he gets a fright as well. And the sound, like the background music as well, really, really adds to the tension. Once you've got the hang of your flashlight and stunning the ghosts so you can suck them into your Hoover, it becomes pretty intuitive.
This is definitely one for your Nintendo fans. They've got the new console and they really want to show it off. It is a beautiful game, but beyond the surface, not much. So wait till the price comes down.
You are a good boy. Thank you for playing it this week.
And just when you thought games designers couldn't come up with any new ideas, up pops a little Bo Peep sim. A combination of platform and adventure, the name of the game is Hurdy-Gurdy. And you spend your time across 30 tremendous Disney-like environments, shepherding things to avenge an evil dictator. Whatever. Well, I've heard some ripe ones in the past, but this one takes the lamb with the mint sauce. Did our jury think this was nouveau cuisine or just a load of tripe?
I can't see folk coming into my work and saying, "Can I have the new herding game, please, sir?" And I'd say, "No, you young scamp."
People hear the name Core, they think Tomb Raider. They pick this up. What are they going to think?
I think it's safe to say there's no similarities at all. Maybe the music is kind of similar.
There's a bit of a lot of games in there. I thought a bit of Crash Bandicoot, because you've got to run and collect bells on the way. A bit of Jack and Daxter, free roaming kind of platformy type thing. And a bit of Lemmings. Between your missions, if you like, you've got to go and talk to somebody and they give you your next mission or they'll give you tips on what to do. And a lot of them have very slow instructions and you're like, hurry up. So thank goodness there's an X button to skip through all that.
Well, we're on the sheepskin rug, so the results must be in. And in third place, it's Shrek, because...
It's a bit of an ogre.
Very good. In second place, it's Hurdy-Gurdy. I say because...
Beige is just so last year.
Brilliant. And this week's winner is Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube, because...
It may be short, but it's very, very sweet.
Like my penis. Oh...
That's all for part 1, but now's your chance to win a copy of FIFA 2002 and a PlayStation 2.
As usual, just call 0900 10 240 and answer one really easy question. Lines are open for 24 hours and calls cost 60 pence a minute.
Also, log on to our website at www.channel4.com/thumbandits, where you can check out some more info and join in on the gaming navel-gazing. Make sure and hurry back because we've still got a whole half to go.
Yep, amongst other things, we'll be taking a walk on the sexy side as we look at the world of erotic gaming.
And we'll be speaking with one of the leading games designers in the world to find out his latest secrets.
Now, technically, you can't actually have a whole half.
Smart arse. So you end up shagging your mother while your father watches on in horror and then runs off with your sister.
Yeah, it's called Oedipus X. My favourite is the one where you play a swarthy, losing idiot who can't sing, is really creepy and potentially evil. It's called Super Darius World.
Welcome back to Thumb Bandits, where Ian and I were just discussing some of the more philosophical games in the market. We'll be reviewing those a lot later on.
Still to come on tonight's show, Jez San, the man Nintendo go to when they want a top game made, and those saucy, saucy adult titles. Boy, we are teasing you this evening.
But first...
War, as we all know, is stupid and good for absolutely nothing. I say absolutely nothing, but the Second World War did provide the inspiration for Goodnight Sweetheart, the romantic time travel comedy starring Nicholas Linter, so some good did come of it. Another good thing to come from the death of so many is Medal of Honor Allied Assault.
You play American Mike Powell, a soldier dropped in Algeria on a mission to rescue a compromised agent. You start with a rifle, but soon get to collect an impressive arsenal, including machine guns, frag grenades and bazookas. And it's as cool as ever to shoot Nazis in the nuts with a telescopic rifle. Watch and laugh as they crumple up in pain. Sieg Heil that, you suckers. You start off as part of the crack squad, or rather a crap squad. They all seem to get taken out rather quickly. But while they are with you, the barking of orders and frenetic footsteps creates a real tension, and you must keep listening for whispered German conversation. You don't want to run into a group of enemy soldiers discussing Bratwurst and Poland. It's much safer and more fun to sneak up on them and take them out one by one. Kids, don't worry about the controls. They're well easy on Allied Assault. And to be honest, we used to have to play all our games on keyboards in the old days. The trick that PCs still have over consoles is the ease with which they can play online. For Dreamcast owners who think that Phantasy Star is what internet gaming is really like, they should look at this. Either join a cooperative mission or enter the battlefield of a deathmatch and see how different it can be with up to 31 other blood-hungry geeks blasting away. This title really is good, and there isn't too much to fault it on, but it's an acquired taste. Some may find the slightly linear storyline and gameplay frustrating, and girls won't like the shooting. If you enjoyed previous Medal of Honor titles or fancy trying an intelligent and atmospheric game, then I insist you buy this. This is not a recommendation, this is an order. Obey it!
All right, Ian, who am I?
I know, Davros.
Come on, Ian, play the game. Who am I?
I know, go on.
Okay, in 1984, I programmed Starglider in my bedroom. By 1989, I'd made my first million. And by 1992, I'd co-invented the Super FX chip, which revolutionized gaming in the SNES. In the year 2000, I floated my company Argonaut for £88 million. And last Christmas, my PlayStation 1 game, Harry Potter, topped the 3 million sales mark. Who am I?
You are Mr. Lucky Sod himself, I tell you that. As well as being a lucky sod, also an ace games designer, head honcho at Argonaut Games, and friend to all the stars. Would you please welcome answering questions in our mastermind styly chair, Jez San. How much was your first cheque for, and what was it for?
My first cheque was for £500, and it was from British Telecom. I had hacked into their email system when I was 15 years old, and then wrote them a report on how to fix their security problems, and they paid me.
Have you ever made a complete donkey of a game that you just wish would go away?
I can't think of any games that we're embarrassed about. I can think of some games that didn't do so well, like Alien Resurrection, which was critically acclaimed and everyone loved, but it wasn't a hit. It was a shame.
What's the game you've always wanted to make?
I've always wanted to do a mass-market, multiplayer, cartoon-style platform game, like Croc, only with thousands of players.
Now that you develop games across the board, what is the best console to develop for and why?
There is no best console. There is a console that's easier to get your vision into a game, and that's the Xbox. But that doesn't make it the best console. The PS2 has sold more and has a wider audience, and the GameCube has a younger audience, so any one of them could be the best at something.
Now, you've met Tony Blair, and Tony is renowned for when he was going through his first election, he got really into Britpop, and now he says he's getting into games. Is that true? Has he ever said anything about it?
I did meet him very briefly, and yes, he said that his sons are into games, but I think it's very encouraging that the UK government is respecting the games industry a little bit more.
Did he tell you anything about any other members of the government who are into computer games, and which ones?
One senior government person that I've met is a huge fan of Counter-Strike.
Which two of your games should we be getting most excited about?
We're pretty excited about Orchid and Powerdrome. Orchid is a story-based beat-em-up involving a young girl character who doesn't know how she got there, but she learns that she was an experiment in a lab, and she's got martial arts abilities and psychic powers to summon monsters. One of the cool things about Orchid is that it's got a very strong story, and we've already written a film script, and there's strong interest from Hollywood. Powerdrome was the game that inspired Wipeout, and it came out by Electronic Arts in the mid-80s, and we never saw it again. And recently, we did a deal with the company that made it, and we've asked them to resurrect it. And it looks amazing.
Where are games going to go from here?
Eventually, they'll approach what we can do in movies and television. The reason why virtual reality didn't succeed is that people don't want to wear a helmet. But one day the technology will be available to directly inject the image into the retina through a laser or something like that. But this is pie in the sky stuff.
How much money have you made in the last 17 years? I want an honest answer.
Enough. Plenty.
Jez, thank you for making computer games. Thank you for being an OBE. Thank you for popping into Thumb Bandits and talking to us. We love you. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Right about now is the time where we usually tell you what games to get excited about in the future. But we've decided instead to come out in the street and find out from you what games get you going. But who amongst us has the fortitude, the balls, the sheer manliness to find out? Paul?
So, if there was one game you ladies could have, what would it be?
Star Wars Rogue Leader.
Metal Gear 2, Project Gotham Racing.
If you could buy your boyfriend a game, what would you get him?
It would help if I had a boyfriend first.
Very sorry. Any games you're looking forward to on it? You've heard about?
Extreme games.
I think Wipeout's coming out soon, so I'm pretty much looking forward to that.
Please! Honest, I'm not scary. I'm not scary.
Yeah, I'm waiting on Xbox coming out.
So, any games in particular you're looking forward to?
Buffy. Just anything on that machine, really.
PlayStation 2, yeah. For that game where you can shoot people in the face.
A lovely game. So I hear that Metal Gear Solid's good. Yeah. What games are you looking forward to on the PlayStation 2?
GTA 3.
I'm sure GTA 3's an 18, though. Are you 18, sir?
No, I'm not.
It's one where you can get a rifle, then you can steal a tank, start blowing people up. You can kill policemen.
Right. Would you like to talk to us about games? So any other kind of games you're into?
There's one where you can kill people in a sewer.
Yeah, he's buying Eternal Darkness. What's that? Any nice games with bears or jumping characters and blocks you'd like?
None that I can think of, sorry.
Driving games?
No. Apart from the one where you can steal the tank.
So what is the best game that you've ever played?
I'm just going to steam in for a second, Paul. This is an expert's job. Get back in your box, you dirty little monkey, all right? You're part of the jury. I'm sorry, sir. He doesn't know what he's doing. Sorry about that. Come on.
Who shall live and who shall die?
Well, the sands of time have run out on Thumb Bandits once again.
But if that news is too hard to bear, then you can go check out our website at www.channel4.com/ThumbBandits, where you can enter our competition and argue about gaming news.
Cool. Next week we'll be having a night out with Slipknot, a familiar fumble with some wrestlers. Whatever next.
I wanna do it with you. I wanna hold you all night long.
What did they for £10?
One take wonder. Put in the fucking outtakes. I'm not.